Tonight. He has one son that plays for the Chargers and one son that does not. And I don't know which son it was that got killed. I think it's the son who doesn't play for the Chargers.
34-year-old Jabari Henley is the son of Eugene Henley, better known as Big U. Eugene Henley once managed Nipsey Hussle and is alleged to be the former leader of the Rollin' 60s Crips gang.
News just broke that someone close to Big U's family was murdered near Nipsey Hussle's old block, and the streets are heating up fast. Now, Blacc Sam, Nipsey's brother, the man who's been carrying his legacy like a torch ever since that tragic day, has finally spoken out. And he's not just grieving, he's sending out a warning, because this doesn't feel like some random act of violence. This feels like a message, a hit with history behind it. We're talking about South Central LA, Crenshaw and Slauson, the heart of Nipsey's story. The same block where he went from hustling mixtapes out of his trunk to building an empire with the Marathon store. He gave that neighborhood hope, real hope, something money can't buy. But it's also the same ground where he was taken from us, the same streets that made him, turned on him, and now they're back to bleeding again. And this time the blood might be linked to the man many still whisper about when they talk about Nip's downfall, Big U. So what's really going on here? Is this just another tragedy or something way deeper? Let's rewind for a second, because you can't understand what's happening now without knowing how this all started. Nipsey Hussle and Big U weren't just homies, they were like family. Both came up through the Rollin' 60s Crips, both survivors of the same South Central chaos. But when fame and money showed up, everything changed. Power, jealousy, and betrayal crept in, and that's when the streets started talking. When Nipsey was alive, word on the street was there was tension bubbling under the surface. People close to him said he wanted freedom, real independence. He was tired of mixing business with street politics, tired of old alliances holding him back. Nipsey wanted to build his own empire, clean, powerful, and untouched by the drama. But Big U, he came from that old school world, built on codes, respect, and control. He believed in the system that kept South LA organized for decades, even if it was built on chaos. So when Nipsey started pulling away, folks noticed. That silence between them said more than any argument ever could. Then came 2019, the day the world stopped. Nipsey Hussle was gone, shot down right in front of the Marathon store. The streets didn't just cry, they demanded answers. Who really wanted him gone? Who had something to gain? And why there? At the very place he built for his people. Something didn't add up. Now, years later, violence spins right back to the same block, but this time, it's personal for Big U. Reports say one of his close relatives was murdered not far from Nipsey's corner, and people are connecting dots fast. The message the streets never forget, they just wait. Then came Blacc Sam, quiet, respected, and loyal to the bone. He rarely speaks, but when he does, the whole community listens. And this time, what he said hit different. It wasn't just grief. It was a warning that sent chills through South Central. He said, "This ain't over. The energy you put out always comes back." Short words. But in the streets, that's not just talk. That's code. That's a warning. That's karma knocking on the door. Blacc Sam's been carrying Nipsey's torch ever since the day the world lost him. He didn't just mourn, he moved. He kept the Marathon store alive. He fought off legal vultures trying to take what Nip built, and he made sure all money in stayed standing strong. Every move he made was for one reason, to keep his brother's name shining forever. But deep down, there's one thing he never let go. The streets took his brother, and he never forgot that pain. And now, with someone close to Big U getting hit near that same corner, it's like old ghosts came walking back. Social media's going crazy right now. Everybody's trying to piece it together. Was this a revenge hit? Was it gang politics rising from the ashes? Or could this be something even deeper? Payback for history that never got settled after Nipsey's murder. Because South Central isn't just about turf anymore. It's about legacy. It's about who gets remembered, who gets respected, and who gets erased. Nipsey's death wasn't just a tragedy. It was a shift. It peeled the mask off LA, showing how jealousy, control, and old beefs still run the game, no matter how much success you stack up. And for Blacc Sam, that was the biggest lesson. No matter how high you climb, the past is always waiting for you at the block where it all began. So when someone tied to Big U's name ends up dead near Nip's old spot, people don't call that coincidence. They call it payback. The streets got memory, and when energy comes full circle, everybody feels it. Now, let's talk about Big U for a second. Demetrius Big U Ferris, a certified legend in LA street culture, a man who's played both sides like a chess master, respected OG, community figure, and mentor to young rappers. He's worked with the city, spoken in schools, helped rebuild after Nipsey's death. But even with all that, there's still that question mark floating above his name. Was Big U part of Nipsey's rise or part of his fall? Because depending on who you ask, the answer changes everything. The street's been debating this for years, and the argument still split the city in half. Some people swear Big U helped Nipsey find direction, gave him structure when he needed it most. But others, they say Big U wanted control, to keep Nip under his wing, even when Nipsey was ready to fly. And when Nip finally broke free, that bond froze over quick. So now hearing that Big U's family member was murdered near Nipsey's old block, man, that hits different. You can feel the tension in every barbershop, every corner, every online comment thread. Because in South LA, nothing happens without history being tied to it. Everything connects to something. Blacc Sam didn't drop names, didn't point fingers, but what he said between the lines, whew, it hit hard. He talked about energy, about betrayal, about karma that don't miss. He said, you can't hide behind money and politics when your soul dirty. Sooner or later, it comes knocking. That line exploded across the internet, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. It was everywhere. Rappers reposted it, fans quoted it, and every blog tried to decode it like it was scripture because everyone felt it. Sam wasn't just talking about this new tragedy. He was talking about 2019. He was talking about his brother, about Nipsey. The conversation online turned wild. Some said it's just another case of street violence, that not everything's a plot. But others, they say karma's real, and this was the universe spinning the block. One comment said, Big U used to move like a boss. Now the street's moving on him. Another wrote, Nipsey warned y'all, energy don't die. And that's the whole vibe in the city right now. Pain, confusion, and a thick silence full of things nobody wants to say out loud. Because in South LA, it's never just about who pulled the trigger. It's about why that trigger got pulled. See, South Central's always lived by one rule. What you put out comes back around. It might take a week, a month, or years, but it always finds its way home. That's what makes Blacc Sam's message so heavy. He's not promoting revenge. He's warning about it. He's saying this cycle gotta stop before it eats another generation alive. But at the same time, he's reminding everyone of one harsh truth. You can walk away from the streets, but the streets never stop following you. Blacc Sam and Nipsey weren't just chasing fame, they were rewriting the whole story. They wanted to flip the script on what it meant to come from Crenshaw. They weren't just rappers, they were businessmen, visionaries, builders. They wanted ownership, not handouts. They wanted the kids from the block to see more than survival. They wanted them to see success. But here's the hard truth. In a city built on pain, progress can make you a target. When you start changing the system fights back. Because power in the wrong hands, or the right ones, depending on who you ask, makes people nervous. And sometimes the old world refuses to let the new one breathe. That's the heartbreak in all this. Every time someone tries to rise, the past tries to pull them down. Now, as this story unfolds, as people start connecting dots, whispering about who got hit, who was targeted, and why, one thing's painfully clear: South Central is still bleeding. Blacc Sam said it best. It's the same blocks, same pain, just different names. And that cuts deep, because it's not just about Nipsey or Big U anymore. It's about a city trapped in a loop, a city that keeps losing its brightest lights to cycles nobody's brave enough to break. Meanwhile, people close to Big U have gone quiet. No statements, no interviews, just silence. And in the streets, silence is never empty. It's strategy. It means people are watching, calculating, and waiting to see who moves first. But Blacc Sam, he's moving different. While everyone else is playing chess with revenge, he's thinking legacy. He said, "Y'all can keep playing revenge games. I'm playing for legacy." And that line hit deep across the city because even after losing his brother, even after seeing the same pain replay again, Sam's still focused forward. He's protecting Nipsey's name, keeping the Marathon store alive, and proving that you can stand for peace without looking weak. But don't get it twisted. Peace don't mean blind. Blacc Sam knows what's up. He sees the politics, he hears the whispers, and he understands the streets better than anyone. He's just choosing a different kind of power now, one that lasts longer than fear ever could. He said, "Every move got meaning, every death got a reason. Just make sure when it's your time, your reason ain't hate." And that's the kind of wisdom that only comes from someone who's walked through fire and survived. You could feel the pain behind every word. It wasn't a quote for attention, it was a message from a man who's seen too much and lost even more. Right now, the whole city's holding its breath. South Central's quiet, but it's that dangerous quiet, the kind that comes right before things explode. People are scared this could spiral out of control, because if this murder really ties back to the old Nipsey and Big U tension, then we might be watching the spark that reignites a war everyone thought was over. Cops are circling, fans are arguing online, and the people, they're just tired, man. Tired of seeing talent buried too early. Tired of watching families fall apart. Tired of watching peace talks turn into more candlelight vigils. But something feels different this time. For once, people aren't brushing off what Blacc Sam's saying. They're listening, not just because of who he is, but because of what might be coming next. Because if Sam's right, if the energy we put out really does come back, then a lot of folks who played a role in all this darkness might be facing their own reckoning soon. And maybe that's the real point Sam's been trying to make all along. You can't outrun your past. You can't talk righteousness when your hands ain't clean. Because one way or another, the streets always come to collect their debts. This story's far from over. The investigation's still wide open, the names haven't all been dropped, and the streets are still buzzing with whispers that could change everything. But one thing's for sure, South Central's eyes are wide open, and so is the world. Because every time blood hits that Crenshaw pavement, it feels like Nipsey's story is starting all over again. Another chapter in a book the city can't seem to close. Blacc Sam said it best, "The marathon continues, but that don't mean we running from the truth." And that's exactly what this moment feels like. Another painful page in a story that still hasn't found its ending. This is Buzz and Drama, where we don't just talk gossip, we dig into what really matters. So hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Do you think this was payback or just another tragic loss in a city that's seen too many? Either way, keep your head up, stay safe, and remember, the energy you give always comes back. See you on the next one.